Is it on?
It is on. We're live. It's the Petty Squad.
Is it on?
It is on. We're live. Solo tonight. Becca's with her father-in-law for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Live in Portland together.
It's been fun.
Celebrating the Jinlin Healing Energy Seminar. Yay. Jinlin water bottles.
It's been fun. I had a blast meeting all y'all who came. See the rest of y'all next week or
next weekend. We had so much fun with everybody. It was the blast. Yeah, Mary Harrow in the chat there is here with us, helping us out.
It rained, but it didn't rain on anyone because we were in the class at the time. So had good weather, well, cool weather. Those for next week, though, it's going to be like 85. So
a lot hotter.
Before you pack, look at the weather so you know what's going on here. But it was fun.
Be comfortable. Dress comfortably.
Yes. A lot of moving around. A lot of activity.
A lot of energy shifting.
Be comfortable.
It's so weird to be sitting side by side. We've been trying to get organized to have space to throw cards and ask our questions and everything. It's a little cramped because we don't have that wide a table for two of us.
And now Lena feels it where she goes. She has to work with this little bitty space. Like the table is long, but there's not enough space this way.
At least we don't have a cat on the table on top of it.
We're missing the cat.
We can go find one outside and bring it in.
There is one down there. I'm pretty sure. There's a little dog over there.
There's a little dog I keep aggravating every time I walk down the hall. I might have to walk by it about 50 times when we get done here just to make it yap.
I'm not going to do and run. They look out the window.
We have been laughing all weekend. We're in silly mode, so bear with us. Wait, I may have to get something for Johnny.
So I need this. Lifetime.
In case you need a laughing give him a laughing blanket towel. Right. He's
the trees are huge here.
We've had beautiful weather. Like, when we've been walking around, it's been sunshiny, cool, very, very cool. So the fact that it's going to heat up, and I know at home when I left the cats, it was heating up into the 90s.
Did Jen give me a hug? I hugged 37 people this weekend.
He did.
I'm learning to not be that person and to accept things and grow and change. That which doesn't evolve dies, and so trying to mature.
Oh, there's Lenny in the chat. Lenny, you feeling good?
Hope you feel better. So I'm progressing. I'm slowly learning. I don't know if it's good for me, but I'll take it. Sure. Change is good.
Quote of the seminar was "Get your gin on," meaning get your Aries on.
Remove the filter.
Remove the filter. Just.
Hi, Cam. See, yes, I hug Cam.
Hey, Cam. Photos with the Pity Booth Squad. Wish we had these on while we were over there. Okay, so T-shirt story. I bought them, brought them with me in my suitcase. As I'm packing, of course, there's 4 cats. Thank you, Impish. There's 4 cats climbing around. Well, no, actually 3, because Lucy didn't climb in the suitcase. So I get here and I give Johnny his T-shirt, and it's all covered in cat fur. He had to go find a lip brush A brand new T-shirt, never worn, and it's covered in cat fur.
We were going to, where were we going? CVS, I think it was. I
Yeah.
said I need to find a lint roller because I got this shirt, but it's got a whole cat on it.
In case I missed my cats while I was away, I had it on Johnny's shirt.
But it's all good now. Yes, it was for good luck. That's the cat saying hi. I've never seen them in person.
These are from Amazon. They're just basic in-stock T-shirts, and I recommend going up a size because they did shrink. I had one that I wore last summer, all summer, and it shrank when I washed it, so I bought another one up a size.
I actually lost like 2.5 pounds, I think, because I ain't ate nothing because I ain't slept.
He's not sleeping well.
I can't sleep in strange places, but I'm not sleepy though either. So I guess the God has plugged me in, and so it's like you got to keep going this weekend. So here I ain't fainted yet. So
you can get T-shirts and mugs and sweatshirts on Johnny's channel for under his shop for Jen Lynn Tarot. And we have openings for the the September and October events on my website, jenlyntarot.com. Some of the people that just finished their weekend here were talking about, I may need to come back in September, October. Do it again. They had so much fun. Refresher course even. Thank you, Rose.
Yes, I am moving, but I'm not moving state. I'm just moving in state. So that's for those who asked, I guess. Still be here though. We'll be here for a bit. I like it here. The city too, for those who are on the way, bring you some walking shoes. It's a very, 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 very walkable city.
And an umbrella.
Mind the street signs.
It can be sunny one minute and raining the next. It's kind of like the UK, I think. The rain moves in quick and then it moves out.
It rains for like 2 minutes and it stops. Get your GPS if you want to go. If you got a hotel, there's something to eat around you, I guarantee you. So keep that in mind too. If you drive here, take notice of the one-way streets. There's a bunch of them that are just one way. And so you don't want to turn up the street and the bus and the train are both coming at you. So
like someone we know did last night, and we won't name her and shame her, but someone went up the wrong way of one-way street.
So
wink, wink.
Just keep that in mind when you do get here. But it is a very walkable city. So feel free to strike out on your own too. Thank you,
Thank
Lenny.
you, Lenny.
Well, we'll be here, so you come on back then. So just keep that in mind when you get here. It will be a little warmer the next go around, so keep that in mind too. We don't really use umbrellas here, so if you want to bring one, you can. But
Or a good baseball cap.
Get you something with a hood on it.
Something to keep the rain off my glasses and what I need.
No, I don't live in Portland. No, I'm a transplant right now.
That's why he's in a hotel, so he's close by to help me.
Yes.
We're not letting him go home yet. He's captive.
Becca's celebrating Father's Day with her father-in-law. So that's where she is.
I wonder what he thinks of the new grand dog. Grand pony.
The horse. It's fun. Yeah, you would stand out if you had an umbrella here. We don't use umbrellas. It only rains a few minutes and then it stops. And it doesn't usually rain that hard. I mean, it did the other day, but that's not.
That was at night.
It's not a usual thing. So if you stand under something, if you're made of sugar and you don't want to melt, if you stand under something, it'll be done in a few minutes. And the ground will even barely be wet. So there's that too.
it's been so nice and cool in the day. I mean, relatively cool. So it's going to be a little shocker heating up this weekend. But at least we'll be inside most of the time.
Yes.
I have reading appointments available also. I think September may be close to sold out. So if September sold out, there'll be appointments available in October. I'm a little hoarse from talking all weekend, which is probably a good thing. Johnny will be like, oh, good, she's going to shut up in a minute.
I've said very little over the past 3 days. That's very unlike me.
Oh, Johnny has a new video out on David Johnson's channel that's really good. If you haven't watched it, give that a listen.
On my community post, I reposted that video. Also, there is a podcast I took part in. Shout out to Jasmine. I took part in her podcast, and so she recorded an episode, and it is now up on Spotify and Apple. But you don't need either one of them to play it. So if you go to the community post, it's also there.
Just click it.
And we talked about tarot, and her podcast is called Are You Spiritual, I believe. Something like that. And so we had about an hour talk, I believe. And so check that out too. Oh, no Florida.
We started the seminar with everybody shaking hands and meeting and greeting, and then I got them all dancing.
She got almost all of them dancing.
Everybody in the room was like, Johnny's not dancing. So whenever, because I'd gotten everybody up dancing, and then right as I get to Johnny to get him dancing, the music ends. I'm like, oh, somebody sent their spirit guides on the music. Stop.
That was so perfect. Like she's coming up the aisle and she's going around the table, and boom, it just stopped.
I don't know if it was your spirit guides that stopped the music, like, oh, here, Johnny, we'll save you, or if it was mine that said, no, you don't need to see that. I'm not sure which.
I'll dance for free. First of all,
I get $1 out.
3,800 max, 3,800 minimum. Happy was the song. Happy by
Pharrell Williams. Yeah,
it was good vibe though. Everybody was dancing and having a great time. I'm not a dancer. I like to see other people have fun though. So I was enjoying the spectacle of it all. And then somebody ratted me out, which I don't appreciate. Like, no. Stop. Just like the Indian restaurant when Lena was here and they tried to ambush me and take me to an Indian restaurant. And we get all the way there and it's closed. It's that ancestor magic.
My face is going to crack from laughing so much this weekend. Wow.
How can you not dance to Happy? You watch me. I dance on the inside. I have fun. I did. I like the fact that other people have fun. I don't need to dance. I think it's fantastic when other people are having fun though. So it's a wonderful thing to see. You know, the people just kind of let loose and be more energetic and free with it and all. I don't expect it from me. I'm a philosopher.
If a philosopher had a Joker's hat.
That's right. Want to talk about the fall one more time?
Yeah, the fall one, the last weekend of September and the first weekend of October. If you go to my website, jinlintarot.com, and click on seminars, it'll give you the dates for the fall one to register for it. What was really fun yesterday, we spent, Friday was meet and greet and a little introduction. Yesterday is when we learned, I was teaching how to do the healing energy work and how to do the technique of it. And it was so much fun watching everybody's faces light up when they realized, yes, they can feel the energy. They could feel it sending it, and they could feel it receiving it from someone else, and they could figure out how to control it and everything. So that was so much fun watching. And then working with the astral body when they started feeling the astral body moving and stuff, watching their eyes light up. It's a lot of fun.
You can do it, and it's different when you hear somebody talking about it, and then when you're there and you're actually moving that energy with. Yes, it's a lot different.
I've been doing energy healing for over 35 years in this technique. And towards the end, I was Mary was talking about clearing energy, and setting boundaries and clearing energy. And I said, well, my favorite way to clear energy is to go in and blast it in the room through my technique of healing energy. I just flood the room with white light. And when I did that, I walked through the room. I do that before each class. I walk around and I charge the room. But when I did it with everyone sitting there, Edie, who owns the massage school where we had the class, was sitting in the back of the room. She goes, I'm sitting back here and I feel that. Like, when you've been doing healing energy work that long, it's like you can push a lot of energy.
It definitely works.
But the class, the seminar is for people who want to learn how to do it. This is not a seminar to get a healing session with me, because I may or may not get my hands on you. I try to work with everybody at some time. Class size may be prohibited. So you take the class because you want to learn the technique and you want to add that as a tool in your tool belt. Do not take this because you want a healing session. If you want a healing session, you can book that on JenLynneTarot.com under readings. Book a reading.
Or be one of them. Go to that guy who used to slap people on the forehead and make them fall backwards. He just want to be healed.
A full session would, healing, that depending on what all I pick up on what all's going on, can take 15 minutes. It can take up to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So if you book a reading, also be ready to want to go to the cards and do some questions also. But when I'm in school and I'm training everybody in the class, I don't have an hour to give you. I'm training everyone,
and you can do it.
It's really fun to watch people realize, oh, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. It's liberating too, because it's a different thing to believe you are a healer, and then another thing to know it because you just did it. It's a whole different thing. It's
fun too, but Reiki is the most common form of energy healing I think that's out there. So there's always a lot of Reiki practitioners and other modalities people use, and it's fun watching their face with this technique, and they're like, whoa, there's something different here. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. And I like too the guided meditation, which again you say try it on your own, see who you can see who you can find. And I did the meditation a while ago when you first told me about it and going up the path that opened the door, but I never did that second part to where you ask someone to step forward. And then I did it Friday, and I'm like, oh, look, there's somebody else.
A new
I don't quite know what he's for yet. I have to, do the reading and the meditation on that. But it was interesting that another person has now come forward. So now I got something else to work with there. I don't even know what he's for yet. So we'll see. Because he's not my guide for the cards, because that's been in place for a very long time.
Yeah.
But he's a guide for something. And I just need to figure out what.
It's like I have angels I work with, especially Archangel Raphael when I'm doing healing energy work. And, you can feel the angel presence, and you can feel the guides present, when I'm teaching, and you can feel the students' guides looking on and watching and everything. Because when you're working on someone, there's about 10 pairs of hands on them. And it's really interesting. I still have new things happening to me. I have a new guide that presented last year that smells like jasmine. So new angel working with me.
And I figured out, well, I'm pretty sure I said it before, but I had a recollection as to why the stone was jumping. And I told you the black stone was jumping because they told me to take it off because black stones absorb energy. But at the same time, when they were here, I got the jumping thing. But when they were working on the arm, they were working on the arm. Nothing, everything was fine. But I have a broken neck. And so that's when I started feeling the thousands of people back here. And then somebody said, take it off. And I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, they're working on the neck part too. But, oh, okay. And now it gets stiff every now and then, but it doesn't hurt. Because it's what he used to do is I used to get a pain here and then eventually a headache because it's all spinal. And so it's been fine since then.
My method of healing energy, someone was asking, goes much deeper than Reiki. And there's attunements harmonizing the astral body with the physical, and you can actually feel the astral body moving. So you can be looking at the physical hand and it's not moving, but it'll feel like it's moving. Is the only way I can describe it to you, but it's working from the astral body back into the physical. Very different from Reiki, and it's done through a breathing technique, channeling the energy. Someone asked if either one of us work with our shadow self. This is my shadow. Or my evil twin. I don't know.
No, my shadow self is not a shadow self anymore. Well, I get where you're saying though, but I don't call it that simply because I'm aware of it, and so I always look at it as that thing that the subconscious or even the unconscious, but that thing that's in the back, the thing that you may suppress, the thing that you have to deal with, the thing that you have to uncover, that you have to deep dive, that you have to shadow work for. I know what's there already, and I think maybe even the reason I know it's there is because I'm supposed to minister to other people. It's very difficult. It's not impossible because the wounded healer is a very real thing. But for me and my in particular journey and the people I am supposed to encounter, I need to be a more whole person and I need to be more self-aware than maybe some people have to be to help other people. Because when I channel energy to help other people or to minister or to read cards or to whatever, I don't need a bunch of my own stuff in the way. And I don't need to be triggered by something every time. Because when you do personal readings for somebody, all kinds of things can come up. And if they say something and it triggers me reading over, because now I'm emotional and they're looking at me like, can we get back on track, please? And so I can't really delve into things that may trigger some sort of trauma. I either need to fix it or I need to make sure that it does not interfere in my work. And healed it. There's 2 things that I have not healed. I think I told y'all about it. One was my age, and the other one is being angry on purpose. Those are the 2 things that I know are still there, but those do not interfere in my work. If that makes sense.
Thank you, Peggy. Peggy's talking about it. It messes with your head a minute when you start feeling it moving, but you're looking at the body and it's not moving, but you feel it moving. It does kind of mess with your head. It's a interesting sensation until you get used to it. Well, let's see what we got to read on tonight. It's Father's Day. How's Trump's Father's Day going? And it's his birthday tomorrow.
It's his birthday tomorrow. His solar return is today, but his birthday is tomorrow.
Pardon if you hear us thumping cards. We have a glass top table here, and I keep hearing it. So pardon the noise when we're thumping cards down.
Let's see, it's Father's Day. Go. I think he wants to spend some time with his current wife. There is the Ace of Engines, which is the Ace of Wands. And then there is the Lover's card. And then there is the Nine of Wands. She might be a tad bit busy. The Nine of Wands can be a person who has more on their plate than they originally thought that they were going to have, but either she's busy or she has a headache. But he wants to spend time with his current wife for Father's Day. It's not going to happen. I don't even think they're in the same place right now.
Well, he's got victory with something. I'm not sure what that is. He's sitting at the root of this. He's hanging on to a lot of emotions, not accepting what's going on at all, which would be, 34 felony convictions, right? Is he planning a trip somewhere? Well, he's always going to rallies.
I got that too.
He's got a trip coming up.
He's with somebody else. He's out and about.
Yeah. He's looking for charity and handouts, feeling very, very anxious, about to give himself a heart attack. Not careful, he might transition over. But he's feeling celebratory and victorious at home for something. So maybe Mrs. let him in her bedroom for a change.
About 30 seconds or so.
Paint my toenails, get out. My mouth's been on fire today, sorry. I'm gonna have to watch it. I've been petty all day.
Good.
Oh, his birthday was on Flag Day Friday.
Yeah.
Well, happy Father's Day. I wonder if he knows how many kids he has. How many he really has. I'm surprised any of them claim it.
He can probably count his wives faster. Former.
Well, I want to know who's crazier, Jenny Thomas or Marianne Alito?
Riot girl or flag girl?
Mm-hmm. the German, maybe a little alt-right. And what's coming for our girls? Oh, his cards just jumped out on the floor.
Seven of Pentacles. Something is coming. Okay. They planted the seeds. Jenny.
Oh, thank you to Beth Cat for organizing questions while I was traveling.
I think that's enough right there. I asked, it was on Jenny, and I got the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is the crackhead knight. He's very erratic. No, not always. Okay, so for those who are learning tarot,
He can be quick.
He's quick and fast, and he is chivalrous as well. He's the knight in shining armor. He will jump in front of the bullet for you type of thing. But he's also very high strung. So Knight of Swords for Mrs. Thomas, and the Hierophant, which is religion, morals, rigidness. That's her. Seven of Wands, very defensive as well. Alito.
I'm getting an indictment's coming for somebody. They ain't gonna like it either. For sharing a screen, so pardon me if I get off center with the cards, but they're feeling very smug, very proud of themselves, very manipulative, waiting on their harvest, waiting on everything they've planned for. But I get like there's an investigator looking into their work and a lot of illumination coming for them, and it probably involves Trump, the loser. And I'm getting victory for America and judgment and an indictment. So I'm kind of leaning towards Jenny.
Mm-hmm. I got the Knight of Swords for her. The Five of Wands I got for the other girl. What's her name? Mm-hmm. She's very confrontational. Apparently, she likes to not just fight, but Seven of Cups too is. she likes to create chaos, throw the rock and hide your hand, create the chaos, and suppress. I got also the Fool. She has no idea what she's doing. And thank you, Rosebud. But for them, there's also some illumination on suppression. So I don't know if it's suppression of votes or suppression of information can be another thing, but there is the 10 of Wands, which is oppression, not just oppression, but burdens, trying to push something down or hold something down. When you have the Sun, there's going to be some illumination on that. And the reason I'm going suppression is because you have the 2 of Pentacles. This is meant to throw something out of balance as well. And so there could be some suppression of information with one of these, more than likely Jenny Thomas. Is anything going to ever happen to her? Probably not. But there is illumination. These things take time. Trump did his crimes over the past 75 years, and now look. So things take time.
2 months, 2 weeks. 2 months. I'm getting 2 months. Something's going to break. Thank you, Rhonda. So how is Martha Ann feeling now that all her secret audios have leaked out? Like, I'm German, don't mess with me. Okay, what's that mean? I know some German people that aren't like you.
I know a lot of Germans that are very lovely. So what is that? A lot of Russians too. So I mean,
bring it on. I've got a lot of flags I'm going to hang. Do tell. Traveled to Germany many times. There's a lot that are not like her. Martha Ann Alito. She is batshit crazy. Her energy is just.
She started with the 5 of Wands and the Fool. So she's childish and she likes to fight, or she likes chaos. Throw the rock, hide your hand.
Devil on the bus.
She likes chaos. This woman is nuts.
She's nuts.
So maybe she did hang the flag upside. Well, he had something to do with it too, but you can blame her, and I would believe it.
You would think someone whose husband is a judge on the Supreme Court would have the common sense to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was she thinking?
She wasn't. 8 of Swords. That is mentally trapped. She is in her own way, but she feels as though, again, that she has been seen, if you will, because this is the throw your rock, hide your hand. And so I'm going to commit the crime, but I'm not and do it. But then once you point me out, now I'm a victim. So that's what she's going to play next, because there's the Death card, is major, major change. She is going to have an up and down, sort of a roller coaster of emotions. This is in the negative position. So there's a lot of changes coming her way, and none of them are good when it comes to emotions. Because the 6 of Cups, you will see a lot of the Archie Bunker mentality, the Lily White mentality, if you will. There's going to be a lot more of that. And so I think some of that is going to start to come out in the press too. Maybe some other audio recordings or some sort of post or some sort of letter or some sort of something that she has that's going to be evident though. And then there's the 10 of Cups. It's going to expose a group she's in. So maybe she has a cult too. So she's in some sort of group and a bunch of like-minded people. We'll see all of that coming out.
And she's got a totally different way of seeing the view of the world. There's some indecision about the higher court, about the Supreme Court. There's some indecision about that, because that's a card for me, like getting higher up. There's some moneyed news that's going to burden her. So, like the Thomases and all the money they've taken and all their visits to Walmart's parking lot. Yeah, Walmart. That's where you take your RV.
Uh-huh.
They secured a lot of gifts and a lot of money and a certain lifestyle. That's a lie. It's come from other resources. So I think they're about to get hit with a dark night of the soul, and I think there's going to be affect the structure of the Supreme Court. My energy's a little heightened from teaching healing energy all week, and her energy's crazy.
It is.
I feel like it's swirling, like true, like she doesn't know.
I think she has a mental defect of some kind. I don't want to call it disability. She has a defect. I think she's been programmed and trained to be a certain person. She's also susceptible to it. And so I think that's where you're going to start all that. The past stuff is going to start eking out. And she said this and she said that and she said this and she said that. And she hangs out with this person who hangs out with that person. It's a whole network of them type of people.
Jenny has been in a cult before. And she's very susceptible too. So
birds of a feather.
So will Alito leave on his own, or will he be forced out eventually? Because I don't know why his smugness and his haughtiness bugs me more than Clarence Thomas's.
Oh.
See him at KFC in about a year.
No, because I've heard that they were hiring better people now that the minimum wage has gone up. I'm going to say kind of column A and column B. The Navigator of Engines, which is the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Knight of Wands is progression, moving forward, moving on from something as well. But it only happens after something has happened. And so you have to sort of take control of a situation. So it's like after the fallout, you seize control of something and then you move forward. The Knight of Swords is also a moving forward, but again, it's a chaotic energy. So you move forward after the chaos, but I think it's on his own term. But something else goes kind of wrong. The Moon card hides a bunch of stuff, so I don't think we're done with the illumination part.
Yeah, and I got the illumination. Like there's illumination coming on things that he's going to regret. There's a lot of lies going on that court, a lot, and there's an imbalance of money and wealthy families tied to the courts. So we're going to see more illumination on that. We're going to see more illumination on trips, gifts of money, expensive gifts, things that are going to surprise us. And he's gonna. I can't get my cards on camera. He's gonna try to fight it. He'll talk strong and everything, but he's gonna be put in defense mode. And I think eventually he is going to be forced to separate. Judgment is too strong on him, but it's not yet. There's something else still to come out. I'll get the illumination on Johnny's secrets.
Thank you, my Michelle. But remember, things take time, and people don't lose their job just because you don't like them. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure everybody right now got somebody on their job that they just don't like.
Well, Mark Meadows pleaded not guilty in Arizona, as he did in Georgia, for his involvement with the fake electors.
Then who did it? The butler in the kitchen with the book stick or the candlestick, what you call that thing? Like, who did it then? It was you, right?
The professor in the kitchen.
Colonel Mustard. He did it. Colonel Ketchup. That's who it was for Trump, I guess.
Yeah, Colonel Ketchup. TG. I mean, he's got so many lawsuits going on, and he hadn't been indicted yet by Jack Smith, but you know that's coming because he's met with him so many times. How's this Arizona case going to go? I guess. We could have had shirts that said Petty Odd. Yes, if we were together.
I was gonna get this one. It looked like the Pepsi logo. It's it because I had I had 4 of them in the cart. I'm like, sir, you need 4 shirts to say Petty? Yes, you do.
I have a whole drawer of Petty t-shirts now. Whole dresser drawer of Petty.
It's about to happen. You just wait.
I got Petty Squad, Queen of Petty. We have everything but Petty Boots. We really need to make a Petty
I tried to
Boots
make
t-shirt.
one, but I am not a graphic designer. But now that I got that program,
You can make a Petty Boots.
That's neat. Look, I had some very, very, very strong guys for tarot reading because they have to realize that when I'm talking to her and Becca, I told them the question, and then once I started talking, I lost the question. But they got a hold it, not me. So
I've done that before. Like I'm shuffling and I'm pulling cards, and I'm like, "Wait, what did we ask?" And I've already pulled cards, and I'm like, "Okay, they knew what I was pulling on."
I got going. I'm like, what the hell was I supposed to be reading on? She knows what it is. I'll just pull the card.
Oh wait, Mark Meadows. We're playing
Mark
Mark Meadows. I was
Meadows.
getting ready to fall. What's question? Oh.
It don't matter. We're not news reporters. We ain't trying to inform y'all. We're trying to be entertaining. Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
I'm just here to be a blessing.
I'm just here to be a blessing. See, Beth, I taught him your saying, my favorite saying. I'm just here to be a blessing.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I can't breathe.
Yep.
Somebody better help us.
New Jen Lin fans on the market soon.
Oh gosh, we lost our Wi-Fi connection temporarily.
Look at the devil trying to get us.
Yeah. Pardon if it fades in and out. We are on a hotel Wi-Fi.
That was God telling me to pay attention. Okay.
That dude's going to jail. He's going to jail.
4 cups. This is a reality you have to accept. 4 of cups. There's 3 cups in front, and then there's 1 coming from the clouds. It's yours. You can't give it back. You have to take it. It's non-negotiable. So that's his reality. And the word of warning is the Ace of Pentacles. Whatever it is that they're handing you, physically, your indictments, your court papers, your blah, 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 whatever they're handing you is yours. So you can plead not guilty, but it's yours. If I were reading for you, I would tell you it's yours, okay? And then there is the Strength card. It's yours, okay? Time Machine, which is the Wheel of Fortune, fated time, destiny. It's happening. Knight of Swords, chaos. This is going to get a lot of work today, I feel. The chaos, the speed at which something is going, you cannot stop. It's going to happen. So whatever our question was, that stands.
Yeah, it's like structure that they can't accept. I think my cards are playing off of yours tonight, sitting side by side. But yeah, he's very burdened and out of balance. He is all emotional. In secret, there's more secrets coming out though, because something's going to get revealed about thieving of the votes. All these votes they clung to, like they clung to some, they hid some, they got the chipmunk to run off with something. But there's a big lie around these votes and everything, and I think there's going to be an action that gets him in jail, gets him in retreat, going somewhere. He's going away. He may be trying to talk about a plea deal too. He may have a one too many charge and doesn't know how.
No, there it is.
Yeah, we're back. I think we knocked the computer a little bit too. Oh my God! So we've asked some different things about the RNC convention. Will Trump attend the convention in person?
You missed nothing.
You'll know if you miss something because when we come back on, we'll be laughing.
Well, he'll be there. Be there. That's going to get a lot of work tonight. Thank you, Rossi. I get yes. The Six of Cups, that's nostalgia, so he's been there before. The Six of Wands, which is person center of attention, the one who is the victor of the day, however, is in the negative position, which means he shouldn't be, but you do you, boo. The Ten of Cups, though, in the positive position, that's the happy family. Always remember, too, sometimes it's a facade. We just need you to believe we're all on the same page. We don't actually have to be, because the Trump family always gets this card, too. So you know they don't like each other. And then the Knight of Cups, which is a offer, can be one of a shallow variety, but it is what it is. And then the Three of Wands, so anticipation and waiting for the ships to come in, as they say. S-H-I-P.
So they can sink with the sharks.
Or get electrocuted.
Get electrocuted when the ships come in. Or jump in with the sharks.
Oh my God.
If you haven't seen those videos, you need to watch those. His speech, his campaign speech.
I mean, that was like falling the bouncing ball, and then it was like 9 up at the same time doing this. What is he talking about?
Okay, Johnny. Sacrifice or delay of him getting to the convention, right? Look at these cards.
Oh, good God. Jesus.
It's like moving somewhere and ending, here's the loser Trump card, right? The Tower card, another movement card. Like they're moving him around or something, like trying to hide where he's at and trying to block the devil. Maybe they're going to move the location of the convention and not tell Trump. It They're like, oh no, let's get out of here. We're not gonna be there
He's out in the
because he's
cold.
out in the cold. I don't even know where the convention is, but wherever it is,
Oh,
they're not going to tell him if they move it.
like knocking anybody in there? No.
Ooh, that was some bad cards.
Oh. That's him. Maybe he's in a box and they're moving him around too. One can
Well,
only.
you can put him at Bedminster in a box. About 6 feet under. Oh my goodness.
Coffin full of papers. Uh-oh.
Okay. So Trump had a meeting with the GOP last week in DC and also with Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell shaking hands with them and everything, which got Liz Cheney hot under the collar, as we saw. He promised unity of the GOP. Unity of the GOP, because it's fragmented, all over the place right now. Will he succeed in unifying the GOP? Whether he's there or not.
Jesus and Gandhi couldn't unify the GOP. Well, then again, you need evil to unify the GOP. Yeah. So, can he do it?
Can he do it, or because of him, they'll unify against him? Oh, that looks devious.
The high priestess. Okay, well, I think that's it. There's the high priestess, which is secrets. Not always evil, though. The moon is more of an evil secret type of thing because you're trying to hide something. The high priestess is just knowledge you don't have. And then there's the Five of Wands, which is fighting, infighting, and politics. It's in the negative position, though. So, no, this could be one of those things to where they're on the same page as in we need to be in power, but not on the same page as this is the one we need. And so they're doing a lot of infighting and things of that nature, and it ends in the Eight of Cups. Can he unify them? No. He can give them the facade, though, that they're unified. But you can't tell me Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the same page as Donald Trump and Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney and whoever. Like all these people who would be in office at one point or in office now are not on the same page because of that one person. Well, not really just that one person, but everything that one person stands for. So no, he can't.
Well, twist on it. He can after Biden wins, wins the White House again, and they're moving on from crazy town. They're having to get it together, and the party is going to find a return to nostalgia, return to working across the aisle and representing more of America. So somewhere, I think it'll take at least 10 years for the MAGA effect to blow out of that party.
Let's ask. Will it be a long time?
Will it be a long time before the MAGA effect goes underground again? They never go away. They just go underground. Eventually die off.
Wait for the next one.
Eventually unalive.
Well, they do. How long till that goes away? MAGA. Eight of Pentacles. That's a while. Over and over and over again.
Delay. Or some sacrifice.
Knight of Swords, but it's in the word of warning. Chaos. And then there's the Tower. Okay. So here's what I think. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is overtime mastery, but it's a day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out type of thing, over and over and over again. The Knight of Swords in the word of warning is chaos, and then there's the Tower right after that. And so what has to happen is they have to get to a point to where it blows apart and there's nothing to cling to. But the problem is there's always something to cling to because there's always somebody that is going to give you a boogeyman, somebody to hate, somebody to fear.
Or there's always somebody throwing a party for the Republicans to cling to something.
And mind you, 100 years ago, we didn't have 24-hour news, and we didn't have a Fox News, and we didn't have a propaganda TV, and we didn't have all that type of stuff, to where at some point it's always under the rug, but now it's all out in person. But it has to blow up first. Knight of Swords and the Tower. These are two cards that are telling you just brace for impact because this is going to be very difficult. And so their whole thing, though, and this is the good part, though. This is not necessarily outward, as in we get the effect of their chaos. This is more of an in-house thing because the Tower is a destruction of your ego and a bad plan. And so, but it is also public. So we will see this happen. But don't celebrate once it happens because that just means they're just going to have to take time to rebuild. This mentality never goes away, unfortunately, because it didn't come out of nowhere. It'll be quiet for a while, but to answer how long would it take? Eternity. Because it just shifts. It's just called something else. If it wasn't the Klan, it's now MAGA. Whatever the tinfoil hat is, they're just going to change the outside of it. It's still the same thing.
And I get all the details, all the work. Where am I? All the work you have to do to get to the White House, right? The repetition, the over and overs. Looking for someone to harvest. They don't have any candidates that are going to appeal to America. This is my card for America. There's nothing out there. So if they want to secure the White House again and get to higher ground, they're going to have to figure out how they're going to appeal to America, because right now they can't, because until the lunacy is done, they can't complete the transformation of the party. So I'm not getting a definite answer. Oh, but look what fell out of the deck. The bullies and the separation and treason. That's their legacy, treason.
But keep in mind, don't take that as oh dear God, the world is always improving. It just, when you watch the news, it doesn't tell you that because it gives you the horrible stories, because that's kind of the job. I mean, if you want nice stories, you know where to find them. They're supposed to gather all the horrible crap in life and then tell it to you in an hour. But the world is always getting better. Just look at the screen. Look, I mean, here, 400 years ago, this was not a thing. And so
it's crazy too, because it's always been going on in politics. They're just brazenly doing it in plain sight now. Mm-hmm. When you have a Supreme Court justice hanging a flag upside down on his house mm-hmm. right after January 6th, they're just brazen about it. They're shameless, and they feel empowered to get away with whatever they want. They've always been there. Mm-hmm. Alito's always had the beliefs he has.
That ain't new.
That ain't new. Mm-hmm. He's just brazen with it. He thinks he can get away with it now. Mm-hmm. Mike Johnson and his new intelligence committee. Is there any intelligence on it? Because the people he's put on it apparently wouldn't even be able to get a security clearance. Are we gonna see something crazy come out of them before the election? Mm-hmm.
Oh, good going. Okay. They're trying to get on the same page. There is something there to where they may have different plans to how to divide and conquer, because none of them are there to do work. But there's a lot of pressure, a lot of strain, a lot of stress with the 9 of Wands. that's going to lead to some losses and some hurt feelings and some things of that nature. They'll eventually figure something else, but something has to dwindle down. And I'm not talking about the committee itself. I'm talking about behind the scenes, the people who are talking to each other, that are trying to impact change, that's fallen apart some way, somehow, still. So much for
I'm getting there's going to be more changes on the Republican side on that committee. Like, it's not done. Like, there's going to be whistleblowers and steady flow of information for quid pro quo. There's going to be another change coming on that. There's a lot of sneaky little stuff going around. So, are they going to get anything accomplished? No, because they're going to keep changing who's on that committee. Okay, the South Lake pastor, Robert Morris, who used to be an advisor, or is an advisor to Donald Trump.
His former spiritual advisor. I mean, that's a sentence all in itself, first of all. During his 2016 presidential campaign, his spiritual advisor was a child abuser, I'll say it that way. And 12-year-old girl. He, at the time, he was 20 years old. He's an older man now. This happened in the 80s. And he went to stay with the young girl's family around the Christmas time. And he said, according to him, that it was just petting and kissing. It was no intercourse. The woman has come forth that said a completely different story, naturally. But he admitted back then it was that even though he was still 20 and she was not 20, but he said that's all it was. And so at the time, I think he was in the church and he stepped down from his duties. And then a couple years later, with the blessing of the girl's father and another pastor, he became a religious leader again. So fast forward to today, this report comes out about what happened then and his admission and all that type of stuff. So the church that he is with now is called Heaven's Gate or Gatekeepers or something like that, something with the gates in there. But is they're asking questions of the church, like, is he still your leader? Is he still the head pastor? And they said, well, he doesn't do our Saturday service, and that's all they will say. They don't want to do any more interviews. They don't want to answer any more questions or anything like that. Gateway. And okay, that's not what we asked you. Is he going to still be this child molester? Is he still going to be your head pastor? And all they can say is he doesn't do the Saturday service, which when you think of church, the first thing you think of is Saturday service? No, you think of Sunday service. Because this church apparently throughout the week has 100,000 people that come through there. So it's a very, very big church. So what was the question? You want to see if he...
I want to see if he's got an indictment coming. Because I would bet, like with all these people, if he's done this to one underage person, he's done it to more.
Mm-hmm. Will there be more people coming
out, or an indictment coming?
Oh. I'm going to say, I don't know about indictment. There's going to be some more stories, though. Because for those who learn tarot, you shuffle until you feel like you need to stop. But I was not getting that feeling. It feels like the whole world is about to come crashing down. And there is no order that these are going to be in to tell me all that. So I just pulled one card. I'm going to pull the rest of them too. But I got the Magician. And according to the victim's story, which I completely believe, because mind you, he admitted something happened What he did not admit to was how old she was. He just said something happened and he described, but he didn't confirm that the person was 12 and he was 20. But he did say, or she said, that he told her, don't say anything, it will mess everything up. And then I get the magician, which is what I call the ultimate liar, because even more so than the devil, lies. The magician will get you to believe in the reality. So they create a whole thing like gaslighting. They create a whole thing for you to believe in, and then that's him. So I think he has suppressed a whole bunch of stuff over these years with the Three of Cups. There's more victims. The King of Pentacles, there could be some money even involved that came from, because the King of Pentacles is a business for me, that came from the church. So he may have used church funds for something like this at some point. And then there's the Page of Pentacles. And so there may be something somebody even signed one time. And so, yeah, there's a lot coming out.
There's a lot, and I think there's a love child coming out. It's just a matter of time, because he's a lover boy. He's a matter of time. That's going to cause them to start looking at other affairs that he's had within the church with underage, and that's going to be really affecting the families there. So yeah, there is money involved too.
There's a woman.
Payoff. Yeah. There's more coming up. Funny, I don't get an indictment though.
He's got the benefit of Jesus forgave me, so you must too. Okay.
Okay, in New Jersey,
Oh, good God.
we got Bob Menendez in this corner, Mr. Gold Bars, running against Andy Kim, the Dem who's the progressive, and running against Curtis Bashaw, who is a gay pro-choice Republican.
Who beat the Trump Republican.
How is this election going in November? Bob Menendez, Andy Kim, Curtis Bashaw.
Bob, Curtis, and
Bob, Andy, and Curtis.
Bob, Andy, and Curtis.
Bob's court case started. Mr. Gold Bars.
He has no chance. He's an independent now. Because he doesn't want to damage
Nobody wants
the
it.
Democratic tickets. Well, at least he took one for the team. He realized that it's over.
Him, his wife, and his zillion Mercedes and whatever else he's hiding.
Yes, a gay pro-choice Republican. I don't know how that works either. People are people. We have to remember that too. No matter what community you find them in, they're still people. As odd as it is. Bob. Curtis. Okay.
I'm actually going to lean towards Curtis, the Republican.
Mm.
I get Bob gets another indictment and he's done. I just knocked all my cards on the floor.
Oh, Bob the Builder. Building with his golden bars. Are they 24 karat? But okay. I'm in no way am I condoning. Okay, that's okay. But you got a Democrat who is taking money and bribes and gold bars.
And blamed it on his wife too.
And blamed it on. Where's his love child and his Russian connection and his yacht and when Democrats are corrupt, why can't they be like interestingly corrupt? I mean, that's
Why don't they
interesting.
fly flags upside down?
They're not
Talk about their
gross.
German
You know what I mean?
ancestry.
I'm not condoning. I'm just saying they're not gross like that. You know, Donald Trump, if you think about like all of his criminalities, and then you got gold bars next to him, and you think, child, please get out of my face. Gold bars. Get out of my court.
Andy Kim, I get it's not clear yet.
Mhm.
He is an option. He is a contender, but it's not decided yet. But I'm getting that there could be a change to Curtis. There could be a big change coming because he's growing. So I think it's going to come down to Andy and Curtis, and it's not quite decided yet energetically.
For Bob, I get the death card. Major, 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 major change. The Three of Cups, which is a reason for celebration, but it has something to do with the Page of Pentacles. I think that whatever his case is may not be as harsh of a sentence as maybe it need to be, or something like that. But he's got a reason for celebration. It's not around votes, though. It's around a piece of paper that somebody would give you that you have to pay attention to, like an indictment or a summons or a subpoena or something like that too.
Gold bar.
Which the Page of Pentacles would be.
You need to pay attention to where you put your gold.
But for Curtis, I get the Hermit and the Eight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So he may have some sort of opportunity for representation. So it's definitely, I think, well, of course, he's the Republican, so it's definitely up to him and Andy, I think. Andy, however, gets the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Wands, and the Four of Cups. There's something around him. I don't think the timing's right for whatever reason. I don't think he needs to give up his political, because he's already representative, but he's running for the Senate seat, right? So there's something around the timing. It's just not right now, but that doesn't mean stop. Because again, Wheel of Fortune changes. And so keep that in mind too. But it's up to, I think Bob is done.
Bob is toast.
But it's up to those two. And I don't know. I don't get favorable cards for either one of them. But we'll see what changes, I guess. What's that one? Oh, that's Three of Cups. Three of Submersibles.
I mean, it almost looks like a tower, and like things falling off the tower in the background there.
What does it look like flames?
Is it upside down? Maybe he's in cahoots with the Leo.
That is an interesting card.
Mm-hmm.
Submersibles, which means would be underwater, but there's where all the people are.
Drowning. That's Trump TV. It's the Trump Navy card.
There's a bus.
That was on Staten Island. The bus that crashed. Okay, he's got me where I'm going. I'm still here.
God have mercy. Speaking of, you know what's canceled here? I seen it on the news the other day. I forgot to tell y'all when y'all were coming to Portland, but it's been canceled. So maybe you don't have to be horrified or entertained, whichever one. The Naked Bike Parade has been canceled.
You're kidding.
They canceled it here. It was actually supposed to be, I think, last weekend or something like that. But they said they didn't have enough time for organization, so they didn't get to organize the whole thing.
Wow. That's probably a good idea if it was going to be this weekend with the heat wave.
Oh.
Okay. We got 2 weeks to the debate. Trump and Biden have qualified for the debate, filled out the paperwork. RFK Jr. Is maybe close to qualifying, Mr. Brainworm. So he may or may not be there. The other candidates are not qualifying because you have to win enough primary votes to show that you have a chance at the 270 electoral college votes to participate. So 2 weeks to the debate. No props are allowed. No notes. No teleprompters. It's just Trump and his electrocution versus sharks conversations against Biden. How's this debate going to go? Who's going to, well, we know who's going to win, but how's this debate going to go? They are shutting the mics down when you're not, it's not your turn. But, you know, Trump likes to pace around. He followed, you know, Hillary right up her butt the whole time she was talking.
Well, that was the woman he couldn't control. So he that's the only way he knew how to deal with the situation since he couldn't run away. He's a weak little man. Where will this go? Oh, okay.
Can you see Biden just shaking his head at him if he starts talking about sharks?
He would rather be executed.
What's the baby shark song? Oh, those sharks, pearly white.
What is wrong with him?
I can't even breathe.
That's what's wrong with him. What's that?
Oh my God, I can't breathe. I can't see my cards. I can't even see them.
How will it go? It's how you think it will. They will be muted, apparently, but there's still the fool and still the fighting. Here's the thing, too. Just because you mute me doesn't mean that once I get a chance to talk, I'm not going to say everything I just wanted to say while you were talking. And so, oh my God.
I just heard it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. There will be manipulations and fighting and the erratic behavior that Trump the Fool always does, right? Everybody's watching this. It's like watching because it's what he always does.
Mm-hmm.
It may show that an action needs to be taken to, you know, get him out of this race because he's just lost his mind. He thinks he's pilfering off more votes, I get, but he's out in the cold from America. He doesn't have it, so he's wasting his time debating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was also saying Trump needs to take Biden needs to take a cognitive test. They've also suggested Rose drug test because they think he was all hyped up at the State of the Union.
And mind you, he suggested he takes a cognitive test while he was getting the name wrong of the man who gave him the cognitive test.
Who also, a video came out of him snorting up on the House floor. Dr. Feelgood, Ronnie Jackson.
That video was weird.
That was weird.
Like, what is happening?
Behind a sign, you're
camera angles.
Let me snort up.
Camera angles.
Oh my goodness.
He should wear a shark tie.
Yeah, I was telling
lightning bolts in the back.
I was telling Johnny, I love the comedian Josh Johnson. I watch all his videos on YouTube. I adore him. He's a writer for The Daily Show, but he posts his stand-up videos. And he was talking about Kristi Noem and her killing her dog Cricket. You know, he said, I think they should put Kristi Noem in a room with Biden's dog.
With no gun.
With no gun.
Oh, mercy.
See how this works out for her. These people don't go away. They live forever. They don't go away.
Oh. Mhm.
I'm still stuck on Trump Navy versus Shark.
How many of y'all seen that video? That's just the most bizarre piece of little. Okay, I did it just now. I want y'all to keep note of this. I'm not criticizing too much because right now, just 2 seconds ago, I just did it. Where you interrupt your own sentence. My brain does that. I mean, I have 1,000 thoughts and they all come through at the same time. And that's where the shirt minds you. And that's how it got there. Because I will interrupt myself in a minute. But the way he was talking, I'm like, I'm not even that bad. Jesus Christian. There's this boat and it sinks under its own weight. And I mean, you might get electrocuted. But what if there's a shark? And I'm like, it's one of them stars like, okay, what if there's a shark and then the shark is coming? But what if the shark like has a Uzi or something and then like the shark learns how to shoot? But what if there's another shark and he's got like a bow and arrow? And then what if there's another boat? Like what if a ghost comes out of the Titanic and tries to fight both of them? Like he was doing one of them things is what it sounded like to me, to where he was just going off the deep end. I'm like, what is he talking about right now? Is this the most bizarre, stupidest man I've ever heard? Like, Jesus Christ. I almost felt bad for him. It's like,
it's definitely one of those videos where you're like, what is he taking? And can they give him a little more and put him out of his business?
like, what is in them hats? Because he had one of his stupid hats on. Like, what is in them hats? Does it leak something into the brain? Like, what is happening right now?
Drank too much bleach during COVID.
Told you get the lavender and lemon. You don't pay attention to what I be talking.
I forgot what our question was.
We didn't have one. We
didn't have
was
one
waiting
yet?
on the next one.
Well, we have the sentencing coming up before the RNC convention. Yeah, what's that game? Mary Kill.
Screw Mary Kill.
Yeah, Screw Mary Kill. Hospital, jail, or institution.
Hospital, jail, or institution. It's true. I don't walk around with a teleprompter. Like, all you need to do is read the sentence there.
Play the John's music every time he walks in the room. Well, somebody has already played Baby Shark.
Hospital, jail, or institution. Hospital, institution. There is compassion when it comes to jail, because I got the King of Cups. I mean, I don't know whether I'm okay with him not going to jail or not. I shouldn't be, because there are people in jail for having weed crumbs in their pocket for 25 years, and then he commits all the crimes in the world and gets nothing. But at the same time, it's a different kind. He's part of our fate. Again, I wouldn't have known none of y'all. Y'all wouldn't have known none of us. I wouldn't have known Jen if it wasn't for Donald Trump. So he's a part of everybody's fate right now. But I do get compassion when it comes to jail. Hospital, 3 of Swords, there could be a heart issue. And institution, 7 of Cups, there's a mental issue. So maybe both of those.
I'm getting yes on the hospital, yes on the jail. So jail hospital is what I'm getting, and then waiting for an analysis on the institution.
Just put him in.
Put him in a jail hospital. Let him talk about his little sharks.
If you need help, then just type in the words Donald Trump said and push play. It don't matter what video pops up. It's going to be something for you to say, yeah, he's a little off. I think we can 51-50 him. I think we can.
Him and Martha and Alito need to get together.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, they can all write a book.
We can all join the fleet of Trump Navy.
Page 1, 2, 7, 9, 8, X. It's got 4 chapters. 4 of the chapters got pictures on it.
So, Trump challenging Biden to a cognitive test. How would he do against it?
Biden, cognitive test.
Versus Trump.
Man, woman, camera versus the person who's running the actual country. Because remember, Donald Trump never governed anything. He just sat there and talked. Everybody else got what they wanted. He just sat there and talked. Biden has to actually do work. It's hard. It's a hard job. I don't know why you didn't want to do it, but it's a hard job. Donald Trump. Yeah, that's what I thought. Joe Biden. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, for Joe Biden, I'll start with the critical part first. There is the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is a mental trap. This is where you get in your own way, where you, all that kind of stuff. The 10 of Cups, there's also the harmony, the happy family, the administration, if you will. It's also my Democrat card. And the Emperor. He is the actual president. Not a person who just sits in the chair and talks. An actual leader who is trying to do things, who goes to different countries and talks to different world leaders about world issues, not, trying to have a tank parade because they had one in North Korea. And then you get Donald Trump, and then there is the 4 of Wands. So there is structure there, completions of things. The 8 of Cups, which is fleeting and abandonment. So abandoned thoughts, maybe they scatter. Mine do too, so I'm not even criticizing. And then the 9 of Swords, which is worry, stress, anxiety, shame, guilt. So as far as cognitive abilities go, I would still bet on Biden 1,000 to 1 because he is a president. So he is supposed to have a stressed out mind. Donald Trump has one because of court. Different things.
It's interesting because I have the tower on the bottom. Like there's a breakdown here. Someone getting ready to have a breakdown, and I think it's Trump, the erratic one. Trump. More illumination on his speech, and depending on the charity of others. With Biden, I get there have been some changes, and they're still supporting him, but he's gone through a lot of burdens right now, a lot of stress with Hunter and having to bow out, but he's healing and he's doing fine. I get he gets the job again, so that's my employment card, a new job card. Gets to get in. He looks like he's doing all right.
And his brain is supposed to be inundated with a bunch. He's running the world.
Yeah. So Biden had a big fundraiser, which right off the bat, having Obama there, that man lives in Trump's brain over and over and over again. But then having George Clooney and Julia Roberts and oh shoot! What was that?
Steven Spielberg,
Barbara Streisand, Jimmy Kimmel. All these famous celebrities. Trump gets
Kid Rock,
over and over.
And that guy he was a child actor. He was from Happy Days or something.
Yeah. What's his name?
Scott Baio.
Cha-cha.
Was Scott Baio?
Yes, Scott Baio.
That's who he gets. And,
Chachi.
And remember, at his inauguration, he had a tractor parade. No. I mean, I ain't trying to shame tractors. We need them. I can't grow nothing. But at your inauguration, you can't get Beyonce and Madonna. You can get a tractor parade.
Tractor pull boy, not. I had to pull in the sharks.
But the smallest crowd anybody's ever seen in the whole world. People line up in longer lines to get iPhones and tennis shoes that came to your inauguration with your tractor parade.
So how jealous was Trump? Because it was a big fundraiser too, a lot of money raised.
And his best friend Obama was there. How jealous was it? Oh.
Jimmy Kimmel made a list of 78 Trump nicknames to celebrate his 78th birthday. He's only 2 years younger than Biden. Biden's wife will hold his hand.
Melania wants to hold Trudeau's hand. The Hierophant is religion. It is morality. It is also rigid, conformed, stuck in your way, if you will. Now, it's not always negative, but when you have a negative card with it, then you can read it in its negative sense. There is the Nine of Wands. He is strained. He is pressured. He does not know how to break that. Now, that is the one small thing I can feel bad for him for, because when his ego and his pride has been bruised by the cool kids because they won't play with him. Because remember, all I knew about Donald Trump is that he was rich back in the day. I thought he was a billionaire because that's the character they played on TV, but he hung out with everybody. You know, the Mike Tysons and all these, he had all the different celebrities around him. Everybody knew him and he knew everybody. Now, all he can get is Ted Nugent and a tractor parade. It's like nobody wants to be with him. And so he can't break that, though, that he's not cool anymore. He's got the MAGA people, but what did he just say to them? I don't care about you. I care about your vote. You can pass out in the heat, but just make sure you vote for me first. He can't break it. And so there's the Nine of Wands. He is under strain, under pressure, because he cannot break that rigidness. He can't break, I need to be cool. I want to be cool. I want to be seen. I want Beyonce to come sing to me, even though I don't know none of her songs and I know who she is. He can't break it. Barbara Streisand ain't going to come meet you, buddy. It's over.
He's projected. He's out in his little shark cage. He's very anxious about it. You know?
With the battery
and I think, yes, he watched it, and he's confused why he can't, it made him very emotional. He's confused why all these celebrities, all these stars would come forward and help raise money for Biden. And he knows America watched this. This is my card for America. So he's still, smug Trump. But he's trying to figure out how to get people to offer money to him. He doesn't know how to do this. There's an imbalance in the funding, he knows, and he's out in the cold from a lot of his fundraiser or funders. Other than billionaire people that want him to help him screw over the tax system.
Mm-hmm. Get rid of the income.
He wants to get rid of the income tax and do tariffs on imports. Wow. Let's see. Okay, after Mitch McConnell met with Trump last week, and that was the creepiest handshake photo I've ever seen.
I mean, would you want to shake his hand down?
Either one of them. Either one of them.
It's like, is this going to come off? It's like, what is
it? Does he regret not impeaching Trump?
Oh.
He had his chance.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Gail.
Mm-hmm.
How was Hawaii?
Mm-hmm. Three of Swords, yes. But Nine of Swords, he felt as though he could not. That would be the worst thing in the world. Because Mitch McConnell is a career politician. Like him, love him, hate him, or leave him. He's not stupid. And he can't burn his own house down, so to speak. So when he is a Republican and you have a Republican in office, you have to protect that Republican at all costs. So did he want to? Absolutely. The Queen of Swords, though, he got advice from the past. That ain't what we're going to do here, though. But he wished that he had a way to get rid of him. Yes. Three of Swords is separation and betrayal. And Nine of Swords is worry, stress, and anxiety. Thank you, Judy. Yes.
There's some big change that's going to come on from this. So I feel like McConnell, McConnell you can't trust. Like, be patient. He's working on something in secret. What's he working on? He does have regrets about Trump. He's got big regrets. And wants to offer the job to someone else. He feels very burdened, but I'm it wouldn't surprise me if there's like an October surprise here. If there's a last minute surprise going on the ballot, because he's out in the cold and anxious and trying to figure it out. I think he's secretly looking at other options.
Would be the smart thing to do. But
he may have smiled at Trump's face, but what did he say to Trump in private? Getting back to talking about Shark.
Electrocuting yourself with batteries. What's that? Oh.
We're talking about cognitive tests. You're not doing so hot yourself.
He told the truth and lied at the same time. There is this. He's kind of spoke to him about leadership and things of that nature, which is true. About the leadership, and this is what you're going to have to do, and this is who you're going to have to be. And because after the whole thing, they said that Trump was going to unify the GOP. And so he spoke to him about leadership and that type of thing. But remember who we're talking about. For those learning tarot, this guy is not prepared for the journey he's on. And that's what it looks like. The magician says differently, but he is not prepared. And that is sort of the negative part of the Fool.
He's not even ready for the boat trip.
As he just jumps off the cliff into whatever. So you can tell him all the things in the world. These are polar opposites. This guy has to be structured, has to be prepared because he has a kingdom to run. This guy is footloose and fancy free because he ain't got nothing to do but walk forward. So you telling this guy that he needs to be this guy is not going to happen just yet. But that's where the true part comes in, to where, you have to be this person for us. The lie comes in where you gave him the impression he can be. And you can butter him up all you want to, but that's not going to help anything because he still has to perform in front of the rest of us who are not going to vote for him. And so that's where the burden around the White House and the fighting comes in. He ain't going to make it. He's not going to make it. It did not serve you to tell him that he had a chance. What you should have did was tell him you should step aside. That way we can go get Brown Girl and Brown Boy and see if they want to come in, or go get Eminem Go-Go Boots from Hawaii and see if, or from Florida and see if he wants to come in and he can be our. You should have been saying you should get behind one of these other people and bring all your MAGA hats with you. But that's not what they were going to say. You tried to transform the Fool into the Emperor, and that's not going to work.
I definitely agree. He talked about healing the party, healing it, bringing it together. Like, I'll support you, if you can secure and complete the party. But they fought the erratic mouth got in the way, and I think he's moved on and working on new details. Like I got to find somebody else for this job.
And you do. Or no.
He's got to find somebody else for the White House. Not that Mitch McConnell will make it. He's not doing that great either. It's so funny. All the things that trended months ago with the Republicans, they're now trying to get trending on Biden. Like Biden froze, after Mitch McConnell froze and stuff. These things on Twitter, the bots or whatever, they're trolls. They're just replicating whatever the people with a brain that create something say on the Democratic side. Alex Jones, he's got to liquidate his assets. He's got to we filed bankruptcy again, I think, but bankruptcy doesn't get you out of what you owe. When are they going to confiscate everything from him? Can we get a timing? When are they going to confiscate?
He could lose InfoWars. Faction of the Tin Hat Parade.
Take his houses, take his cars, sell it all. Thank you, Karen.
You didn't want it. That's what you told the universe when you decided to be a despicable person. All the stuff I have, I don't want.
She was at the seminar.
Thank you, Karen. I recognize you now.
Oh God, the devil keeps falling out. The tower keeps falling out. I keep shuffling, putting them back in.
Uh-oh.
Alex Jones.
It's going to be a while. Well, not a while, but it's a while. Because it's done in stages of some sort. So you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is like the farming card. So you don't put a seed in the ground and then it just overnight sprouts into some beautiful apple tree. So it's done in stages. The Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles. This is your money and your possessions and your luxuries and all that stuff. The Eight of Pentacles is the detail. So it's like this has to be liquidated to that person. This has to be signed to that person. That has to be sold to that person. It's one of them type of things.
Banks involved in everything.
Yeah. And then there's the Chariot. As far as timing goes, you have to pull everything together first, and then it works. And so it's happening now. The Chariot is not something that needs to be years in the making. It just needs detail is all. So it's happening now.
That's funny because I'm getting 5-6 months. He's separated from his homes, houses, properties, his business properties, anything like that. Judgment sitting on him. But it is happening in stages. Like something smaller happens in about 3 months, and then there's a wait, and then 4 or 5 months, or 5-6 months. There's taking of a property that he's exited from. I actually heard sheriff's sale, within a year, sheriff's sale. You're gonna lose it all.
Thank you, Lisa. We got a bar. Wi-Fi.
Oh man, we're really low on our Wi-Fi connection. So if we lose you,
we're moving, but it's sluggish.
Are there going to be problems after the election getting the certification done January 3rd or January 6th? The new house is sworn in January 3rd. Will there be problems January 6th with certification of the election?
That ain't gonna slide. I don't think so. Got 9 of Cups, 8 of Wands. 9 of Cups is your wishes and desires are met, and the 8 of Wands is communications talking. Something moves fast. I think it'll be fine. There are some though. I won't say it's problem free. The 4 of Swords. There are some people who are trying to hold out for something or they're trying to hold something up, but no.
I feel like certifying the votes. I feel like there might be uncovered some sort of plan, kind of like a January 6th around Trump. To cause problems. It's in the planning stage, but I get it's blocked like before it gets executed, and I get elimination on that plan, and I get Biden in the White House, and yippee, yippee, 4 more years. Let's go. And Kamala. I keep getting off screen with the cards. Was Ronnie Jackson doing drugs on the house? I got to know because I'm petty. Ronnie Jackson, Republican from Texas, Dr. Feelgood in the White House under Trump, Candyman.
Yep. Were you doing nose candy?
Giving out all that stuff in the White House when he was there, unauthorized. He's got as many nicknames as Rudy Giuliani. He looks like he's got an addiction problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's a yes. What do you think, Johnny?
Oh, good God.
Ronnie, get a personal reading from JenLynCharot.com.
Oh my God.
You got an addiction problem, and yes, you were doing it on the floor.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, people saw him.
That was my first card.
Oh, people saw him. Man, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Might be
I got that one too.
close to an OD.
I didn't get an answer to that. What I got was that he has an issue, though, of some sort. I got the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. The 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, pressure, strain, burdens, and the High Priestess. Look.
Get a reading from tarot'sapprentice.com. Or JenLynCharot.com.
I'd listen. Go get you some help, sir, and stay out the cabinet, because you had keys to the White House cabinet. You start passing out all kind of stuff. Dr. Feelgood over here. But he's got an issue of some sort, and not just the issue, but I think he's for entertainment purposes only. I think he's a dealer too. And so I think he greased the palm a little bit and the inside of his nose a lot of it. And so, yeah, he's got an issue.
Just take a look at Trump's nose and you'll know you're going to blow your whole thing out and have
something wrong.
Surgery on your nose if you don't leave it alone a little bit.
Mind yourself, sir. Mind yourself.
Did Hunter's verdict affect Biden's chances?
Because that's all they wanted was something to you. Because they have nothing else on Biden other than his age and his son. That hurt.
This is the best candidate y'all can come up with is Trump. I still can't get over it. But that's the best you can do.
The felon.
About 34 counts.
Against a career politician like a Biden. This is what I'm going to put up.
Are we back?
Mm.
Moving. You got Donnie Jr. out of his mind, snippy on coke all the time on Twitter, ranting and raving. And y'all gonna
As Melanie said, I'm not voting for Hunter. So I don't really care what he's convicted of. What they got to do with Biden at all. But does it hurt his chances with who? Because who in the chat, I mean, mind you, there might be some, we're not a monolith. We can think for ourselves. But who all of a sudden heard Hunter's verdict and said, oh, yeah, I'm not voting for that Joe. There. Yes, absolutely they should. You didn't miss nothing. I stopped talking. It blanks out on this side, so we know when it cuts off.
we pause and pick up where we left off.
The star card, which means there is going to be more about Hunter that is going to come out, and they're going to try to use that too. The positive part is the Sun and the Queen of Swords. So the facts are in, though. So we don't really care about the Hunter thing, I don't think. Well, majority don't, I should say.
I'm getting victory for Biden. I just keep getting like the support and the care, the benevolence that he showed made people love him more, and like maybe even broke through to some people who hadn't thought about it that started seeing him differently. So I got to know, like, it didn't really affect him because he was very fair and balanced, you know, in showing and demonstrating his love. And I get the thief is going to end up in jail too, and more illumination on him. So I don't think it affected Joe. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more before we lose our one dot of connection we got.
Jab turkey Wi-Fi.
Did we read on who would win the debate?
No.
Well, we read on how it would go.
How it would go. Because we were still reading on if he was going to even be there.
Yeah, maybe we should look at this. Will Judge Merchan give Trump jail time? Because he is Zoom called in his parole meeting. Hadn't taken a drug test, which I think should be mandatory.
Yeah, definitely.
We should have a sentencing party. Do a live stream sentencing night.
When is it?
Sentencing
July
day.
11th?
July 11th, because the convention's the 15th.
What's going on July 11th?
I don't know what day of the week that is.
July 11th is a Thursday.
Oh, I'm off on Thursdays.
It's the day of Jupiter too, isn't it? When everything gets bigger. So
We might need to do a sentencing party.
we'd have to be up in the morning.
You think they'll do it first thing?
Mhm. Well, East Coast morning is really early morning for me. I'll be up anyway.
The man who never sleeps.
Not at nighttime. Nighttime is when you're supposed to be awake.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it too because I sleep in the mornings when I'm at home and stay awake later at night.
There's I don't think so. The first card I pulled was the Queen of Cups. That's the compassionate one. And then there's the Two of Cups, which is a deal is struck, but not like a grease the palm type of deal, but an agreement of some sort. And then the Nine of Wands, which is a pressure. So whatever it is, it's still not a walk in the park for him. But because he doesn't want to be punished, period. But there is something that does leave him feeling strained. But I don't know if it's necessarily jail. There's Justice card, so we'll see.
Loser card.
We'll see.
I'm not getting a clear thing. Like he's going away somewhere, and he might get sentenced to like 8 years. Like there's a verbal thing, but then he's going away somewhere else. There's also fighting the sentencing, whatever is done. The appeals. It's right now. It looks like it's kind of a 50-50 if he's going to give him a.
But let's keep things in focus, though. Even if he gets no jail time, don't be upset. Well, you can be upset, but because it's sort of an injustice. But at least he was convicted of something.
I am still hoping for community service, picking up trash on the side of the road in a little orange vest.
Because humiliation breaks him more than jail. Because if he's in prison, we don't get to see him.
Clean the toilets in the subways of New York. Wait, talk amongst yourselves. What else could we put him through as a punishment? Community service punishment.
Because that breaks him more. Because he's all about ego and pride and image and all that. That's how you get him. Money and image. That's how you get him. And not little fines. You have to give him the $456 million fines. That's how you get him. Putting him in prison probably would still get him because prison is no walk in the park. But to really get at him, image and money. And that's what Fate has been doing.
He's supposedly losing his liquor license in New Jersey because of the conviction. Mm-hmm. Let's see how Bedminster's going to fare without a liquor license. Ivana's probably having to drink a little cocktail in her grave.
I wonder if he could get a. So I worked for those in the States. You may know I worked for a company called Dollar General at one point, and they sold all kinds of alcohol. They sold wine, beer, spirits, as you call them. The store I worked in, we couldn't sell spirits, which is distilled, because there was a church across the street. And in the South, there's a law where you can't sell that kind of stuff. You can sell malted beverages like beer, but not wine and hard liquor across the street or within 2 miles of a church or something like that. But we lost our liquor license once because the police would come in. They would send people who were underage into the store to try to buy cigarettes and alcohol to see if you would ID them. And so every now and then you'd get a person that wouldn't ID because, it's annoying to ask every single person. So sometimes they just didn't. And then they would lose their liquor license, but they would get a liquor license under an LLC to then attach it back to that business some way, somehow. But that's Florida, not New Jersey, but that was Florida. Well,
he's not going to move a business under one of his kids' names while he's alive. Just let them handle it and get a liquor license.
Oof. 10 of Swords is not a good sign. That ruins something. 9 of Swords. 9 of Wands. Oh, good God.
Might try to get Melania to get the license.
And then the Judgment.
Maybe that's why he wants Melania around again.
And then the Queen of Swords. there is some sort of loss. Thank you, sweet Caroline. It is quite devastating, though, because the 10 of Swords is ruin. The 9 of Swords is stress, and the 9 of Wands is pressure. But you have the Judgment card and the Queen of Swords, which means there is a different kind of legal tactic you can use. So they have an outlet, but it affects something quite severely at first.
Yeah, I get this is not done yet. He may try to get Melania and Baron, get me a liquor license. I need my drinks. I need my alcohol. He may successfully move it, change it. Who's the proprietor, like under Melania or something. But at this point, I get he's depending on a little bit of charity. So he's anxious. He's trying to write it out, trying to figure it out. But he may even be pressuring like some of the local businessmen, like get me a liquor license.
He'll find a way.
Name.
He'll find a way.
Under your dead wife's name. The hole-in-one golf course or cemetery. You planted your ex-wife on the first hole.
You think there's some zoning law on that one? Like you can't just bury a person in a random spot. Like
you go on and on and on about a sinking ship and electrocution versus a shark.
Not that he buried anybody in there.
No. Yeah. Oh my God. Help us all. It's going to be an interesting next few months watching this election. I think the next 2 months are going to be crazy. Just crazy. Well, thank you all for joining us from both. As you can see, for those that joined late, we're together in Portland, Oregon. We'll be Petty Squad together. Becca missed you. We're on Becca's channel next week. Still from Portland, but I don't know if we'll be in the same room together next time. But this was fun. Thank you all for joining. And if you'd like to check out the seminar we were talking about in the beginning, we offer another one in September, October. So check out jenlintarot.com to see the dates on the fall event. Thank you, guys.